Hey everybody, Who's Your Jedi here with another review for you, this time talking episode 11 of season 4 of the Flash, The Elongated Knight Rises. And here we finally get Elongated Man in a proper costume, we get him his name, and we also get to bring back Trickster. All in all, I thought this was a solid episode, but, not the most riveting one of the season. Let's just kind of talk about the stuff in prison there. This is kind of a chance just to bring in another character from the comics called Big Sir, who I don't know really anything about. And really, this is more than anything just a chance to bring in the famous wrestler Goldberg. The Arrowverse does like to bring in wrestlers for stuff like this. And, so far it's gone pretty well, so I can't really complain. The story in this was a reasonable enough story, predictable, but still, enjoyable. And it was definitely fun watching Barry get to use his powers subtly in the prison to kind of keep things under control and to sort of save Big Sir at the end. And of course, that speech that he got to give Ralph was very nicely done. I mean, again, superhero storytelling 101. I mean, just classic stuff we've all heard a million times before, but still, it's fun. I mean, some things never truly get old, and it was done quite nicely. They also used the music nicely in that scene too, and it was very very heartfelt. But again, also very very standard superhero storytelling there. So it was, again, kind of fun to see Axel Walker's version of the Trickster again. Of course, Mark Hamill's got other fish on his plate right now, so they didn't bring him back. They couldn't bring him back right now, but I'm sure he'll pop up again in the future. They do mention that he broke out of prison, which it's off screen, but again, okay, fine, no big deal. The main thing here is the character Prank, who was on the 90s Flash TV show, and as people have pointed out, this character does predate Harley Quinn, and she and Trickster did have a very kind of Joker Harley Quinn-esque relationship. Now, I haven't actually watched the Flash TV show. I remember as a kid wanting to watch it, but yeah, I think it was on at the same time as The Simpsons, and that was like the first year we actually had Fox in my area. I mean, it's funny to think that there was a time when Fox was not. There were only 3 big networks, not 4. So it's sort of like, oh, well, I want to watch The Simpsons. I'll watch The Flash, like in reruns or something. And then for whatever reason, it got canceled before I had the chance. So that kind of stunk. But that's life. Ralph's little journey this episode is pretty short and sweet and simple. He goes from basically thinking like, oh man, my powers make it so that nobody can hurt me, to discovering, oh yeah, there is stuff that can hurt me. And Ralph has come quite a long way from where we saw him earlier before, especially in the previous episode where he talks Joe out of planning evidence. But here, the old Ralph comes back and he's like, oh wait, I'm actually in danger in this stuff. I'm out of here. Now, granted, all it takes is a conversation with Barry to kind of get that problem taken care of, but still, it was nicely done. And you did see, this was the moment where Ralph really grew a little bit. Now, granted, he's still kind of a cocky jerk, and he's really into, being famous and all of that. It's very very Booster Gold-esque. I mean, a lot of what Ralph is doing would be perfect for the way Booster Gold acts, or at least the earlier, very irresponsible version of Booster Gold. I'm actually much more fond of the more modern incarnation of Booster, where he's somebody who's actually a kind of a serious guy, but for various reasons sometimes has to completely play the fool, even to other superheroes, which I thought was personally a really, really brilliant twist that Jeff Johns came up with on that one. Anyway, getting back to it. this was just fun. I mean, it was really fun. They brought back that really crazy, really cheesy, campy '90s vibe from the Flash TV show. Ralph's constantly screaming like a girl and just hamming it up like there's no tomorrow. I mean, it did seem like a little much at times, but it was still pretty fun, nonetheless. Um, One thing that did bother me though is one, where did those hostages go by the end of the episode? Two, when they go and are when Cisco and Caitlin are captured and the Trickster and Prank are doing that broadcast, it looks like this is being broadcast to the whole city. So that would basically mean, and they even take off Cisco's goggles. So doesn't that mean that everybody in the city can clearly see Caitlin and Cisco's faces? I mean, Vibe doesn't seem to be a well-known superhero, but he's popped up enough here and there that people are probably aware that there's, you know, and yet another character, hero running around who helps out the Flash. And there, they just take Vibe's goggles off right there. I mean, I have to assume that the camera cut out for whatever reason, but still, that seems a bit sloppy in terms of storytelling there. Let's see. Fun stuff with Cisco and Harry bantering at each other, especially the stuff like, "You don't have that gum on your Earth." Like, yeah, we totally do. That was cute. That was also really nicely done. Um, I thought the way that Elongated Man eventually got his name was a little landed on a little thick, but at the end of the day, Elongated Man is kind of a ridiculous name anyway, so no matter what they did, it's going to be a little absurd. So sure, let's roll with it. Um, so yeah, guys, that's really honestly everything I kind of had to say about this episode. It was a solid episode. Sometimes a little bit too hammy, a little bit too campy for its own good, perhaps, but the show has chosen to really embrace the campiness of the '90s Flash show whenever they bring the Trickster on there and just run with it. So I'm willing to roll with that, and I definitely loved them. Well, I don't know if I would say love, but I was definitely very amused by them bringing in Bebo from that Legend of Tomorrow episode. That was just I have to admit, when I saw that, I'm like, oh, somebody in the writer's room had a very cute idea. And, it's also a nice little continuity nod. So, yeah, guys, fun episode. Looking forward to seeing what happens next time around. Oh, yeah, and then the mysterious caterer pops up again, wearing an Oregon Trail t-shirt. And I just love how Cisco's like, digging the shirt, it's a classic. And it's true, Oregon Trail is a classic. I remember playing that as a kid, and it's quite fun. So with that said, guys, oh yeah, and then her writing in the Speed Force language. Well, I mean, come on, like the fans, we all have a pretty clear idea of who this is, so it's not really a surprise. Anyway, guys, I'm going to call it here. As always, please comment, rate, subscribe. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Hoosier Jedi, and please also join me on Tumblr at Jedi Reviewer. Until next time, take care and have a good one.